This is really the city's event. It's the first of a series, quarterly series, which starts to delve into the various technologies of Industry 4.0, assuming that's a word that means anything. The event itself just isn't really intended to capture the audience, not just the audience that was here, but actually the wider audience. So we can capture different parts of this, the various talks, the slides, mix those with academic papers and start to build a community around the subject. The parts that I'll take away are probably the parts that I'll use, which internationalization, which I hadn't fully understood. I mean, showing a slide that looks like an explosion but actually understanding it as an explosion, to try and take that away. So when I start to deal with investments or scale-ups or whatever it is, that I can understand that in an international context, differently to how you might normally understand a tech startup's progress, which was incredibly useful.
So as a metaphor for a disruptive process?
You want me to give you a metaphor for it?
Did you think that was a metaphor for the disruptive process?
It's absolutely a metaphor for a disruptive process, yeah. So it's not just the fact that the technology is disruptive, and we've worked with AI and the AI seed fund, and so I understand how disruptive it can be just to put an algorithm into a process and shorten that process, or to speed that process, or just to make that process incredibly intelligent, and to start to find a process which teaches itself. That we've worked with, and I don't understand the algorithms, but I understand the fact of them. What I hadn't appreciated was the context of that in an international environment, and how the supply chain feeds into that almost from a point of view of chance, which is fascinating. The value of that diversity of panel will be to capture an audience, so we can start to feed that back out into the wider world, and draw people into the site, build the community, get people talking to each other, get people understanding that actually there may be different types of technology or different types of structure that they can start to engage with, and so they start to engage with themselves, and we can draw the data from the back of that and actually make that an intelligent process, which I found out earlier. They already do this in Germany. It's government sponsored. We don't do it here, and we don't do it on a city level or a national level, and we have the technology able to do it. So this is just the start of that more intelligent scaling, funding, exiting process.